The Joe Rogan Experience.
But it seems like the difficulty of combat is way more intense and way more insane, and obviously way more intense, way more insane, but way more difficult to overcome and to learn things from. It's like, it seems like for a lot of the combat veterans that I talk to, their experiences are kind of like burned in their brain in some way, where it's not like I'm sure they're stronger because of the adversity they've been through, but also some of it is too much, and it just leaves them shooken.
Yeah.
You know, they used to call it shell shock, remember? I mean, that's what they used to call it before it was PTSD. When troops were coming back from Vietnam, they called them fucking shell shocked.
And I think that was me for a long time, for sure. I mean, that was me for a long time. Like,
did you get counseling for that? Did you, like, how did you?
I went to Mexico.
What was in Mexico?
I went down and I did Ibogaine.
Oh. Did we talk about that the first time you were on the podcast?
No, I think I did it afterwards.
Oh, really? Interesting.
But yeah, no, I went to.
How was that?
It gave me my life back. I mean, it gave me my life back. Like, I went down and I just got to the end. And I talked about it in this book. I was going through my divorce. You talk about not knowing what was next. I mean, literally, I was melting down from the inside. And finally, like, one of my friends looked at me and he's like, hey, I just went and did this. This is the date you're going. You need to go do this. And it was at that point, like, I grew up in Kentucky, and I grew up with weed is bad, right? I mean, all this, right? You know what I mean? And for me, it was just such a, to think that I was going to go do psychedelics.
Right.
It was just like it was like a moral thing for me, right? I mean, it was a moral dilemma.
Yeah.
And, but I mean, it was all I had left, and I knew that for my daughters, I needed to do something.
Can you describe the experience?
Yeah, I mean, I went down and
where'd you go?
I flew into San Diego, and then we just went across the border somewhere. I don't like.
Oh, it was like close to Tijuana.
The south of that, like, started with an E.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where it was, but went down there and took the Ibogaine at like 8 p.m. at night on Friday, and I kicked in like an hour later, and it was like I was walking through this like gloomy city. I was kind of like walking through a gloomy city, like overcast. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I just remember, like, I went into this one room, and it was like, I mean, I could see the street signs and everything. Like, I went in this one room, and I walked out on this stage, and there was like all these people in this room, and it was like they were going by, like, like those old slideshows, like they're just spinning by, and I was seeing these people, and I was in there, and I just felt this like everybody was disappointed in me. And like, I see all these people, and I just felt like all this disappointment. I was like running around, like going up to people, like, why, like, what did I do? What can I fix? Like, how can I fix this? Like, what did I do wrong? Like, I'm sorry. And it was like all these people that people in my life, like, I could see their faces, people in my life that I've tried so hard to be good enough for, and you ain't gonna be good enough for them, right? And so I left that room. I was in there for a few hours, and I left that room, and then I was walking through the town, and I would go up and I would look at these like these fuel gauges. I could see these fuel gauges, and they were like, it had E for empty, E for empty, and then F meant like finished, and everything was like this far from finished. It was like I never finished anything. And then I seen this like beautiful ball light, and I went to it, and in it was like my daughters playing, and I just felt like so much peace. And then there was like obviously like different moments of, I'll never forget this one moment in it. I almost like, because I mean, you could see, I mean, I could like open my eyes. I mean, it was really blurry, but like I was present, right? And I was going to just ask the doctor, like, I was like, I just don't want to be here anymore. Like, I can't do this. And I knew that he was going to say, there's nothing I can do about it. So I stayed there, and I just remember it breaking my ego. I remember focusing on my ego. I remember like fighting it, just realizing that all this was ego, that my ego just, the best way to describe it was like, it didn't make me like, you know, like when you drink, like you kind of feel numb. This was like my soul. Like it was like my soul had gone through a workout, like a workout on it, right? Like just an ass kicking workout. And it just broke my ego, you know, like it just showed me so much about my ego. And there was just, I just remember like at one point I was like, I don't care. I don't even care anymore. I don't care what people think. I don't care. Like I'm not going to live by what people think. I remember just all I could just say back and forth was, I don't care. I don't care. I don't
This
care.
is why you were tripping?
While I was tripping. And so I was on it until from 8 p.m. on Friday night, and I came out of it at like 2 or 3 p.m. on Saturday.
Wow.
And I came out of it and I was mad. The guy that sent me there, I was so mad at. I was like,
Why?
I didn't need this. I was like, I didn't need to feel like this. I felt terrible.
Why are you mad at him?
Well, because I was like, you told me this is going to help me, and I didn't need to see all my problems, right? It kind of like just brought my problems out and made me look at them and realize that I need to do something to change these. And
so why would you be mad at him then?
well, I was mad because he sent me there, and I thought he was going to help me, and I felt like it made me worse, right?
In that moment you did?
In that moment. And then I did DMT the next day, 5-MeO. And it was that was what brought it all together. The next day we did 5-MeO, and I was so like, I was down. I was depressed. I was like upset because it just like, I was like, gosh, I just didn't need to see all this.
But why? I don't understand. If you think it's beneficial, why were you upset at him?
Well,
Why'd you think you didn't need to see it?
Well, what I'm saying is all of it together was beneficial.
But the Ibogaine by itself wasn't?
The Ibogaine, well, I mean, no, I think it opened Pandora's box for me, right? Like,
because it made you think about things.
Yeah.
But isn't it better maybe to think about them than to suppress them in the back of your head?
I mean, the experience, like it was like an ass kicking, right? Like
Right.
It was just like, it was like the ultimate ass kicking. It was miserable. Like I was throwing up. I'm saying it's good for you. I'm saying like, but when I put it together with the DMT, and I did the DMT the next day, it brought it all back together, right? Like, you know, after I did the DMT, I'll never forget, like I took the hit of it, and I laid back, and it was like I was gone through this tube. It was just like this tube, like almost like a water slide, right?
Right. Yeah, I've done it.
And
You feel like you're in the center of the universe or something. Like you
was
don't
beautiful.
exist anymore.
It was beautiful. It was so beautiful. Like the white that I seen was like, there's no white, there's no color here that could ever do like same.
Right.
It was so beautiful. I felt so much love. Like it was like pure love. It was like how I felt like whenever I met my kids, you know, like whenever I was there when Atlee was born, when I met Sailor, like the love that I have for them, it was like that, but times a million. You could just feel it, and it was like so good. Like it just showed that like there is good. And for me, I put it together, and it's like, it's inside me. Good's inside of us. Feeling good. Like those good things are inside of us, and it's just our ego that keeps us from feeling and being happy.
So the Ibogaine gave you this understanding of all the conflicts that you've caused, and whether it's interrelational with other people or even with yourself by not finishing things and not following through on things.
Yeah.
Do you think that it was trying to show you that some part of your problems lie in the fact that maybe you don't respect your own efforts? Like when you look at that
Yeah.
you haven't finished things, do you think like it was showing you that you don't have a respect for yourself because you don't respect the effort that you put into things?
Yeah, I think it showed me that like, yeah, I mean, I think it showed me that like, yeah, 'cause I don't, right? Like I look at everything as, well, if you do good, well, that was what you were supposed to do.
Right.
And if you, like, the only thing that I still struggle with it, right? Like the only thing that I feel is like, whenever I mess up, You know, I live in this mindset of, well, I can always be better. So I stay focused on that aspect of it, of like, what did I do wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a hard thing. It's a hard balance, because I always want to be better. I always want to be better. I want to give you my best. And, you know, like, so I think that was what it kind of showed me, was that, hey, you know, like it's okay to, you know, you can do your best. And as long as you do your best, that's what matters. And as long as your intent's good, that's what matters. Like, you're going to mess up. Like, that's normal. And I think it was like, it gave me, like, I don't know, maybe a little grace on myself,
Mm-hmm.
of, you know, because I have this problem of, I just always want to do more. You know, I always want to do more for people. You know, and it's like, I don't know, like it plays against me a lot.
You always want to do more for people. Do you
Yeah.
always want to do more for yourself as well? Do you always want to do more in terms of like the effort that you put towards things? Like, when you say you always want to do more, is it just with doing things for people?
I mean, like like, the more I can help myself, the more I can help people. You know, like I like, if I could do anything in the world, like, I would take all the pain off of everybody else, right? Like, I don't want anybody to hurt, you know, and I think that everything that I do is about trying to help people. You know, like, that's kind of what I find fulfilling, is seeing people happy.
Well, that's a beautiful thing, man. I mean, that's a great way to think about life, too. If you enjoy making people happy and you know how to make people happy, you know there's things you can do that can enhance
Yeah.
people's happiness.